Yes, people, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the ManDem United podcast, the podcast dedicated to all things Manchester United. So please keep all your comments, all your questions, Manchester United related, please, people. I know this is slightly earlier than usual. This show, Ivorian, will be here though. And the reason why the show is slightly earlier, because we will be live on the kick for the AC Milan versus Newcastle United game, which is a 5:45 p.m. kickoff. But big up to everyone who is tapped in, large up everyone who is tuned in, big up everyone who's supporting. Make sure you hit the like button on the video. So important you do that. Hit that like button, share across all the socials, and subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV. And like I said, ManDem United podcast, for those that don't know, is all things Manchester United. And there's a lot to discuss, as always, with Manchester United, whether we're playing games, whether it's an international break, it don't matter. There's a lot to discuss in regards to Manchester United, and what we will mainly be discussing in this podcast is how should Manchester United approach the Bayern Munich game. Like I said, Ivorian will be here. He'll be giving his thoughts on that. Of course, he'll give his thoughts as well on the defeat to Brighton as well. Big up to everyone in the chat. I can see the chat already jumping. Big up to Warrior J with a lot of information. He is legit Fabrizio Romano of Sarcasm City, but he's saying here, Kobe Mainoo is back on grass, taking part in a light running exercise in Manchester United's training this morning. He will be a plus. He definitely will be a plus. Mason Mount and Varane took part in United training this morning, which means they'll probably both play a part in the Bayern Munich game. Obviously, getting Varane back is vital. Amrabat training away from the main group. This is the Manchester United travelling squad. So goalkeepers, you've got obviously Onana, Vitek, Heaton, and Banyan Deer, I think his name is. And then defenders, Lindelof, Martinez, Reguilon, Delo, Johnny Evans. All right, so Varane didn't travel, but at least he's back training. But that's Lindelof, Martinez, Reguilon, Delo, Johnny Evans. No Maguire. Maguire didn't travel. Interesting. Midfielders, Bruno, Eriksson, Casemiro, Palestri, McTominay, Dangor, Hannibal. And then the forwards, Martial, Rashford, Hoyland, Garnacho, and Omari Forson as well. Now, it's all good, Warrior J, man. Thanks for updating us on the traveling squad. Much appreciated. Big up to my guy, Sheik. He says big up Flawless and Ivorian as well. Stephen, I see you. Big up PJ Daily as well. Good to see you in the chat. What's good, everyone? Good to see so many members in the chat as well. Link for the membership is in the pinned comment. Big up Manj as well. Big up my guy, Doncaster Rovers in the building. Big up Daniel DRFC. Says hello, guys. Big up to you as well. Like I said, you lot, get your questions in as well. Get your Manchester United questions in. Of course, if you super chat, I'll get straight to your questions as well. Hey, large up, man. You running bants. That's jokes. For real, for real. And how many likes we on? We're even at double figures yet. Let's bump up these likes and let's get to double figures. How about that? That's what we need to do. Get these likes up to double figures, people. And hit the subscribe button. I think we're like 3 short of 8,100. 4 short of 8,100. But yeah, man's, yeah, running bants. This guy's a joke, man. But in regards to the Bayern Munich game, tough game. Very much not looking forward to it whatsoever. Oh, is he injured? Maguire's injured. I did not know Maguire was injured. You learn something new every day. But yes, in regards to how we should approach the Bayern Munich game, I think it's pretty simple. I think the lineup with the injuries picks itself, number one. And I think with the form we're in, it's away from home. I think the approach picks itself. I think that's just me personally. You clearly should go. You go with Onana. You go with Delo, Reguilon, Lindelof, Martinez. I think the back five picks itself, in particular because of injuries. And in the midfield, I don't want to see this diamond. And if I see this diamond, I'm really going to see the diamond. Because to me, if Anthony's available, you're not playing no diamond. So why is your whole system based not only on one man, but based on one man who's not even performing? Anthony has never been good for Manchester United over a long period of time. Forget great, forget exceptional, forget top class, forget world class, forget unplayable. He's never been good over an extended period of time. At most, he's been above average. That's the best he's been for any extended period of time, is above average. Most of the time, average to poor. So the fact that your whole system could potentially be based over this one man is just stubbornness to the next degree, number one. And two, it's just plain foolishness. So if I see a diamond, I would be very, very unhappy about seeing a diamond. Then it's like, all right, we have to get a result. But going with a diamond, I think, would just be complete foolishness. But you go to me, the back five that I mentioned, you go Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno. That's what brought you success last season, and that's what don't make sense with how he's setting up this season. The one time, the two times actually, we've actually played well for extended period of times and put in solid performance from a midfield perspective is when you've had Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno. We had it away at Arsenal, and I believe we played it against Forest as well. And outside of the first 4 minutes, which again we went 2-0 down and wasn't a midfield issue, they were just two terrible goals from the entire team to give away. We played well, like I said, from when they scored the second all the way up until we scored the third. Arsenal away, for the most part, minus the added on minutes, it was a solid performance. So why have you gone away from what brought you success last season? That's what makes no sense to me. You clearly go, and everyone knows my thoughts on Bruno, but obviously with the personnel you have, that's what you go with. In terms of injuries, you go with Casemiro, you go with Eriksen, you go with Bruno. And then it's obvious you play Pellistri on the right, Rashford on the left, Højlund up top. To me, this is basic. Like, there really is no conversation to be had with that team because of the personnel. Like, if everyone's fit and available, I can hear more conversations. Who out of my team shouldn't be playing? Like, with who's available? What are we doing here? I'm not trying to see Garnacho from the start, even though people will say, well, we'll start from the defense. So you got Onana in goal, that makes sense. Dalot's the only fit right back. Luke Shaw's the only fit left back. Martinez and Lindelof are the two best available centre backs, because the third one is Johnny Evans, with Varane being unavailable, Maguire being unavailable. So the back five picks itself. There's no Amrabat. There's no Mason Mount. McTominay, we know how bad he is. Kobe Mainoo's also unavailable. Surely it's Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno. Like I say, if someone disagrees with me, let me know in the chat. And then the front three. Højlund up top makes sense. He's our best nine, without doubt. Pellistri is the only winger who hasn't had a fair opportunity to see what he can do. And like I said, I'm not trying to see Garnacho from the start. So you play Rashford from the left. This team really does picks itself. It really picks itself. You cannot mess this up. And then in terms of how we approach the game, sit deep and hit them on the break. That's the obvious. Look at the pace we have. That front three, whether you rate it or not, one thing it has is electric pace. In particular with Rashford and Pellistri, you have electric pace. And Højlund can shift as well. I'm not sure if he's electric yet because I've not watched him like that, but he's quick enough. He can run away from people. And then even off the bench, you got Garnacho. If you want to replace Garnacho with Rashford, if you want to move Rashford to the right, put Garnacho on the left for Pellistri, whatever the case may be. That's clearly what it is. We know what the midfield can do. Bruno can, as Eddie would say, be a try-hard, run around, close down. Eriksen's going Eriksen because he's the one in that midfield who can actually pick a pass. And when I say pick a pass, I'm not talking about hitting it into space, even though I think Bruno's excellent at that. I'm talking about eye the needle stuff. Like the pass he played into Rashford, even though it wasn't eye the needle, it was as close to his beat. That's so easy to overhit or underhit. And then Rashford obviously did his thing and scored the goal against Arsenal. But yeah, Casemiro's Casemiro, so obviously he's going to play. And then your back five's your back five. Surely that's the way you set up. The same way we played against Arsenal. I hope we don't see the diamond. If we see the diamond, red flags. That's all I'd say. Red goddamn flags. Hey, big up to Staffy in the cut as well. Says big up Flawless. Smash the likes, people. Let me actually mud you, Staffy. 1 second. Let me add you as a moderator on here, just so there's no fakes. 1 second. Well, big up to Staffy. Big up to PJ as well. Says, remember last year, Europa League. I love Champions League football. Let's hope we love it on Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. But I hear your point. Big up to Neville B. Good to see you in the chat as well. Sheik says, with the players that travelled, looks like we're going to have Lindelof, Martinez, Delon, Reguilon at the back. Yeah, that has to be the four. That has to be the four. There's no one else. What are the other defenders you're going to play? Johnny Evans. And then who else did Manch say travelled from a defensive standpoint? Let me see. Defenders. Yeah, that was it. They're the only defenders who actually travelled. So we have no choice. Have no choice whatsoever. I was actually going to ask that. Do you think Ten Hag is playing the diamond because of these injuries, or is this the formation you think he's changing us to? I legit think it's because of injuries. Not even think it's injuries. I think it's the one unavailable player that is Anthony. Again, I genuinely believe if Anthony is available, he don't play the diamond against Brighton. He doesn't play if he does indeed play this diamond against Bayern, that's not in the plan. We've not seen you play a diamond and all of a sudden you switch to it. Now, if you switch to it and everybody was available, I'd be like, cool. If Anthony was available and he switched to it and Amrabat's available and Mount's available, etc., and you switch to the diamond, okay, it makes sense. Like, again, once managers start doing things that make no sense to me, like whether I agree or disagree, I need to at least see the plan and understand. Why are you playing the diamond? Why did you go with the diamond? All because Anthony's not available. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And yes, Warrior J, Raw United only have 2 fullbacks. Nuts. That we legit only have 2 fullbacks. What is indeed going on? And saying, yeah, apparently Maguire got injured. All right, Fez, because I was like, why is he not in the squad? Why is he not in the squad? And yeah, like Sheik said here, forgot to mention this, for those who don't know, Flawless has a membership you can join that gives you cool perks like members Q&As, fan calling shows, and the FPL with the ManDem join up people. Yeah, oh yeah, as well. Speaking of members, obviously if you're a member at any level, there is a group chat on the Sarcasm City TV Instagram, people. There's a group chat at Sarcasm City TV. Make sure you're following on Instagram anyway. But if you want to join the group chat, obviously you don't have to. You can just join the membership and be cool and want to support. But if you want to join the group chat, just let me know what your @ is on Instagram and I'll add you to the group chat as well. The FPL is open to everybody as well, people. If you want to join the FPL, that is open to absolutely everybody. Yeah, Sheik, I hear you. He says it makes no sense to me. You still have Palestri. No sense. Makes no sense. You have Palestri. Play him. And especially when we go and be playing on the counter-attack, because we're not going away to the Alliance to dominate the ball. And I think that'd be a foolish plan anyway. You know what I'm saying? The plan, hit them on the counter-attack. You sit in a deep block, play the 4-2-3-1, and hit them on the counter with the electric pace you have up top. We have 3 very, very mobile players. If he does indeed go Rashford, Palestri, Højlund, utilize it. This is basics. I get more things wrong than I get right. I am far from a footballing expert. I am far from the most knowledgeable about football. This is why I'm not working in the sport. But even I can see how obvious this is to sell. It's really, I don't think this is a tough decision to make. And I'm so fearful he may go with the diamond. So fearful he may go with the diamond. What is going on? I just don't get it. I really don't. To Daniel, who says, yeah, I think that is approach you go with, as you say, because I think Bayern are beatable if you get the tactics right. Will be a difficult game, but you can get at them. That's the thing. Bayern Munich, even though they are better than us, don't get it mistaken, people. Bayern Munich are 110% a better side than Manchester United. But just because they're a better side doesn't mean we can't go there and get a result. Doesn't mean they don't have weaknesses. They are not firing on all cylinders, even though they have some players I rate highly. Like Alphonso Davies, I think everyone knows, like, that's like my favorite fullback. I think he's the best fullback in Europe. Like, that's my favorite fullback. Kimmich, been sold on. I think he's one of the best central midfielders easily in Europe. Probably one of the most overrated. But yeah, it's about getting attacked. Just set us up. If he sets us up like that and Manchester United lose, I hold my hands up and go, at least you set us up right. If we go there 4-2-3-1 with the 11 I named and we lose 2-0 and it's a solid performance and we just get beat by a better side, hold my hands up. Bayern Munich, even though they're not at their best they've been in recent years, they're still one of the better teams in Europe. Like, Bayern Munich are still top 5 in Europe. Like, don't get mistaken. Europe is weak, though. Take Manchester City, take Real Madrid out of it, because I think they are the 2 best teams in Europe. When you look at the rest of the competition, there isn't that many great teams in it like that. Like, who I'm, like, fearful of. Like, if we play Manchester City, like, that's fearful. If we play Real Madrid, that I'm, like, genuinely fearful. With Bayern Munich, even though I think it's going to be very tough, I'm not fearful if we get it right. Like Arsenal, who are in this competition. Who else is in? I'm trying to think of other top teams in this competition. Let me know, people. Like, who else is in this competition? I'm fearful. Not saying we're the best, because we ain't even dark horses. That's why I was so upset, because this competition, if you get a favourable draw, you can reach a final. We watched Inter Milan do it last season. But hey, we move. And yes, Michael, we do have an FPL. I'll drop the code if you want to join. Just let me know. I will drop the code in the chat. Sheik says, if his logic is having an all-out right winger, to keep your setup, you have one. Again, we can say it's favoritism. It is. 110% it's favoritism. And why are you being favorites to be? If you're favoriting somebody who's performing, even though I don't like favoritism, I understand it. If Anthony was balling out and, like I said, was unplayable, was adding to the team, was getting goals, was getting assists, I'd be like, cool. At least it makes sense. But this is someone who is not performed well. What are we doing? What are we doing? What is he doing, should I say? When I say we, I just include, I'm just saying in general, like Manchester United, like I don't get it. Like that's unforgivable decision making. I'll forgive bad decisions that logically make sense, but I won't forgive unforgivable decision making, like switching to the diamond simply because Anthony's not there. And I hope I'm wrong on this. I think I'm right on it, but I hope I'm wrong and we do not indeed see this diamond. Play Palestri, man. Play Palestri. Play Rashford. Play Højlund in the front three. It's real Casemiro, Bruno, Eriksson in the midfield three. Like what? Just do that. Again, it's not tough. With the injuries we have, it picks itself pretty much. Like I said, it's not like Amrabat and Mount and Kobe Mainoo and Anthony. Who else is injured? And like a Wan-Bissaka, a Luke Shaw, and Malacia are all available. I'm sure there's more injuries as well. Like, but look, I just named, 7 injuries. Like, it really is not. Big up to RJ. I see you. Hey, shout out to It's Just Me. Good to see you in the chat. Says, hi, Flawless. Hope you are well. Hope you're blessed too. The travelling squad is not exciting, but United do okay against two cool sides. But I do favour Bayern Munich tomorrow to win. Yeah, all we got to do is just hold on to those type of things in regards to doing well against two cool sides. So let's hope that continues. Let's hope so. But yeah, Bayern Munich, of course, they're the favourites for the game tomorrow. Of course, without doubt. Big up Black Diamond in the chat as well. I see you. Like I said, you lot continue to get your questions in as well. Flawless, would you start Hannibal? I don't know, man. No, I wouldn't. I think it's unfair to start Hannibal in a game of this magnitude against opposition of this quality. That's unfair to him. In an unsettled team, in a team low on confidence, you don't throw youth players into this mix. Like, you throw generational, like, elite youth players who's like, all right, he's going to be a star. But Hannibal, no. Don't throw him into this mix. Nah. Into the Alliance, nah. Maybe bring him off the bench, depending on what's going on. Like, because we've seen the impact he had even outside of the goal. We've seen, like, at least he was just doing the basics. I'm saying, which youth players are going to do. They are going to be tryhards, as Eddie says. They're going to close down. They're going to try and impress. They've got a point to prove type of thing. So, but no, I wouldn't start Hannibal. I wouldn't. I think that's setting him up for failure. Glazers made him play the diamond. Yeah, I'm not with that either. The fact that people, as soon as we lose, some United fans try and automatically go to the Glazers. Are the Glazers a problem? Yes. 110% the Glazers are a problem. They're crooks. Can't stand them. Glazers out. I never buy no Glazers merch. Even the shirt I have here was from my plug. You know what I'm saying? That's where I got this shirt from. This was a freebie. I did not buy this shirt. I don't put money in the Glazers' pockets. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But that's not on the Glazers with the Brighton game. That's on the manager and the players. They are the two people to be held accountable. Now, wherever you want to proportion more blame is a whole different conversation. But that is on those two. That is definitely on those two. I'm not sure. Flawless off topic. Is Steve going to join you for Newcastle AC Milan? I don't know, but I am going to send him the link. So thanks for reminding me. I did tell him if he wants to jump on the stream, that's fine. Because obviously the rest of the gang gonna get the link as well. So yeah. RJ says that one night in Paris, that one night in Munich potentially. I'll take a draw right now. I just need a performance though. What's the word I'm looking for? To let me know the players haven't given up on the manager. Because Brighton, that performance in particular, the second half, looked like a team who had given up on the manager. And we've seen this before, not just at Manchester United. Of course, we've seen it here, but we've seen it at other places. That's why if that happens again, and then it happens again against Burnley, this manager's not going to last. if they put in a performance, even if we lose, like, okay, at least the players are still on board type of thing. Sheik says, the thing is for me, Flawless, I can even ask you. Surely you would think, especially if we want goals, since that's a problem for us right now, Palestra would be a better option than McTominay in the team. Yes, because we know what we're getting. You're right, because we know what we're getting from McTominay. This is why I don't even criticize him heavily, because I just know he's not good enough. Now, if someone asks me about it, I'll talk about it. But I'm not going to criticize off my own back McTominay, Bruno, Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Mount. Who else? Who else we got? Martial, Anthony. I know the level of these players. I can see where they're at. I just know they're not good enough. So I'm not going to criticize, because it's like I criticize the better players. I need Martinez. I need Casemiro. I need Eriksen. I need Rashford. I need Varane. I need the better players to stand up and be counted. That's what I need. And that's what we're gonna be relying on in this game tomorrow. It's on Martinez, it's on Casemiro, it's on Rashford. They're the three. Obviously, add Varane in the mix because it was 4, but he's not available. But they're the 3 we're looking at to perform well for us to get anything from this game. Same way, if Rashford plays well in the game against Brighton, we probably win that game. That's what we rely on. It sucks. It's unfortunate, but, it is what it is. Sheik says, the thing for me... Oh, yeah, I got to this already. This one. It's just that simple. I don't know what the manager wants right now. Ain't the time to try and test your formations. He needs results to save his jobs at the moment, in my opinion. And yeah, literally. I hear you. I don't get why he just went away from what he was doing last season. Build on that. You had success with it. So go and get better players to implement that kind of style. But I don't... It's like when people call us a counter-attacking team or a transition team. I don't know what we are. Because we get different Manchester Uniteds. Whether it's the Wolves game, whether it's Spurs, whether it's Forest, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Brighton. What are we? It's just like a mix. Somebody please let me know. I'm really lost as to what we are. I really don't know. But let's bump up the likes. Yeah, we got over 20 likes. Let's get over to 30 likes, people. Check 1 2 1 2. Bump up that likes. Make sure you share across all of the socials as well. Make sure you do so. Share across all of the socials, please. And on top of those things, subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV as well. Continue to get your questions in as well, people. Continue to get your questions in. Ivorian will be here shortly, people. Don't worry about that. He will indeed be here shortly. RJ says, McTominay to prove Tuchel wrong. Yeah, you got jokes. RJ says, Maguire, Mount, Amrabat did not travel. Yeah, they didn't, unfortunately. They didn't travel. But here we are. They didn't travel. And that was another thing, because me and Hassam, and shout out to Hassam, because we have great discussions all the time when he's not trolling, because he knows ball. But we was discussing about philosophy, versus success, and how if Ten Hag implemented his philosophy last season, that would have put him in a better state than this season. I'm like, no, it wouldn't have. What are we talking about? Or if he just implements his philosophy, we're just going to allow bad results. He shouldn't have switched it up. If you are a Manchester United manager and you are getting packed on a weekly basis, let's say he would have carried on doing what he did at the start of last season with Brentford and Brighton, he would not be here now. We don't accept defeats just because you're implementing his philosophy. We don't accept that. Van Gaal was a prime example of that. His philosophy was implemented, and he won a trophy. But guess what? The results weren't good enough. So fans and media wanted him out, and rightfully so. We acting like results don't matter. You can't do both. But welcome to the show. My Ivorians in the cup. Yes, Ivorian.
Yes, guys. I'm good, man. Just to make sure, people probably thinking, where was he at the start of the show? I'm hiding and all that kind of stuff because of what's been going on. Nah, I'm not hiding, bro. Just couldn't get here on time, But yes, big up to everyone, man. Big up to you as well. What's the chat saying as well? And what was you talking about so I can jump into that?
Oh, we're talking about how we should approach the Bayern Munich game and how I just don't want to see the diamond, and how what I took from him switching to the diamond against Brighton was because Anthony's not available, you switch the whole system. Because I genuinely believe if Anthony's available, you don't play that diamond, then you go 4-2-3-1 /4-3-3. So the fact that your whole system is reliant on one man who's not performing well and hasn't been performing well for a significant amount of time, is alarm bells. Big alarm bells for me. That's extremely concerning. But your thoughts? How should, before we get into the Brighton game and everything like that, how would you like to see your setup against Bayern Munich? So in terms of formation, personnel, and actual tactical approach as well.
You know, Florence, I'll be very honest with you. Put everyone at the back, 10 behind the halfway line, and we just see what happens, you know. Because it's a long night for me, man. I'm not even looking forward to tomorrow, bro. But the way we should set up, I always believe we should always set up how we usually set up in the usual formation that the players and the system that the players are used to. But we got to go with a defensive approach against Bayern Munich. So maybe 3 at the back and 5 in midfield and 2 up front. But again, you just never know how that can turn up, because I remember 2-3 seasons ago under Oli on the RB Leipzig, we played about 8 or 9 defensive-minded players and still lost 5-1 or something like that. So you just never know. Against RB Leipzig, fam.
Oh, when we lost 3-2.
We got packed in. We just got packed in. Remember, we got
talking about when we went 3-0 down and we scored twice, but went out of competition. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, man, we played 9 defensive players as well. We did, and nothing happened. We still conceded 3 goals. So, like, for me, you know what? Yeah, like I said before, I would just want them home to play at least 5 at the back and just pack in the midfield and play 1 up front, because it's going to be a tough game for Manchester United.
Hey, fam, we got no defenders, fam.
Oh shit! You know that just that really just went past my mind, that we've got that injury of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you know, and also of course of missing Varane and all that kind of stuff.
Varane's missing, Shaw's missing, Malassi is missing, Maguire is injured.
God help us! God help us!
So we have 3. We got 3 centre backs have travelled: Lindelof, Martinez, Johnny Evans.
Shit.
So you forgot, where you going with this back 3?
But I like the fact that you just don't include Maguire, like he's not part of the squad.
Maguire's injured, fam. He didn't travel.
Oh, he's injured.
Yeah, Maguire's injured. He didn't travel.
He just happens to be injured now. When he's meant to be called up, he wants to go injured.
He's injured, so we can't go with the back 3 because we don't have the facilities for that big man.
Big man, we don't have the capacity. Shit. You know what, Flores? It's hard to just say what you would like to see. You know. All I just play defensive football, park the bus, put as many men as behind as you can, man, against Bayern Munich. Because I just see it as a game where we're just going to be dominated, and it's just going to be Bayern with the ball for the whole 90% of the game, with us having small chances of Bruno doing the usual stuff and Rashford hitting hope and all that kind of stuff, frustrating us and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, I don't have an ideal way, because we're missing a lot of key players defensively. But how can you answer that question knowing that you've only got 3 defenders? And I'm there telling you we should go defensive, and we ain't got the capacity to go defensive. So how do you approach that question?
You approach it like, so if you're the manager, what are you playing?
Who am I playing? Who's available? We've got Dalot, we can play him at the back. We can play
fam. We have the back 5 picks itself. It's Onana, Dalot, Reguilon, Martinez, Martinez, Lindelof. That's the back 5. Who you playing in midfield? What formation you playing, and who you playing in midfield?
We play Casemiro. If Amrabat was fit, well, I would have said him, but I don't think he's available for that game.
It's not available.
No defense.
He is training though. He is training though. So's Kobe Maino as well. He's doing light training.
Yeah, I know. You know, the funny thing is, you start looking at Scott McTominay when you know he's useless. But he's the only person.
I give you the midfield options. We've got Casemiro.
Give me the midfield options.
We've got Eriksen. We've got Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, McTominay, Hannibal. They're the 5 central midfielders we have available. So you got to pick 3. What 3 are you going with?
Flawless, we're gonna have to ride and die out with the normal squad that we usually have: Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno, and just hope that they can do a job. Yes. That's the honest truth, because there's no other options. You know, you're stressed if you put McTominay in. You're stressed if Bruno starts. You're stressed if Casemiro and Eriksen are playing because they haven't been the best. So it equals the same result. So in my opinion, you just stick with what we're used to, and then hope for the best. You know, I'll be honest with you. I don't see a positive ending for tomorrow. I just see it as another day where we're gonna get trolled. You know, and that's it. Let's just hope that we lose respectfully, in my opinion. You know,
Right,
a
wait,
nice.
wait. Before we get to that, what's your front three, fam?
My front.
This guy. What's your front three?
Hoyland. Marcus Rashford, man. And then, do you know what? Yeah, let's see a natural right winger like Pelestri play, man. What do we have to lose? What do we have to lose against Bayern Munich, apart from embarrassment and all that kind of stuff? So let's try and see what Pelestri can do, you know. And it astonished me that my man refuses to give him a goal, but the guy gets chances for his national team. The guy played in the World Cup as well. Like, he's not just that he was like a sideman in the Ukraine. He started some games as well. And during the international period as well, he was also, he had an impact. So let's see what Pelestri can do, you know. If he doesn't do it, then at least we know, you know. The one thing I hate is the unknown. I hate not knowing.
Talk about it.
So let us find out whether Pelestri is capable of playing for Manchester United. And if he's not, we will know, and then you can stop playing him afterwards. You know, just let us know what he's capable of doing. But yeah, so those front three: Pelestri, Højlund, Marcus Rashford.
See, we picked the reason why we picked the same team, people, because like I said when I was talking about it, we don't have what's it called? We don't have any other options because of the injuries. That's one thing where I am like, damn, we can't even switch it up. That's why me and Ivorian picked the same team, because there ain't nobody else. Who else is playing? Like, when you look at it from a defense, we have one fit right back, we have one fit left back, we have 3 fit centre backs, one of them being Johnny Evans. Midfield, we have 5 central midfielders, one of them being a youth prospect, the other being Scott McTominay. We have 1 right winger. We have 2 left wingers in Rashford and Garnacho. And then we have 2 strikers, and one of them's Martial. Yay. You know what I'm saying? Yay. Yay.
It's not easy.
Big up to Daniel, you know what I'm saying? Doncaster Rovers in the building. Big up for the super chat, my guy. Much appreciated. Says, what would your guys' lineups with what's available, and what would be your instructions to specific players and to the team as a whole? So yeah, the lineup I just mentioned, it would be Onana in goal, Dalot, Reguilon as the fullbacks, Lindelof, Martinez, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, Pelestri, Rashford, Højlund. And what my instructions would be is what we did last season: sit deep, be defensive, and hit on a counter-attack. Because for all our deficiencies, one thing we have in that front three, and I said it before Ivorian got on and I say it again, is electric pace. When you have Rashford on one side and you have Pelestri on the other, and they will have grass to run into. The Allianz is a big pitch, and Bayern Munich are going to push up the pitch, and they're going to be on the front foot. They're not going to sit back at home. That's not their style. They're not going to do that. There's so much grass to run into. And with Eriksen, with Casemiro, with Bruno, you do have 3 midfielders who, with the ball at the feet, can hit space. Højlund is very mobile as well. I don't know if he's electric yet, so that's what it would be. Yeah, Star-Lord Højlund's fast, but I can't call him electric because I've just not seen him like in a sprint like that. But I can see he can shift. I can see he's very, very quick. So you have 3 extremely mobile players up top. So it's sit deep, hit man on the break. That's legit what I would do for that. So that'd be my instructions. And in regards to specific players, the front 3, I'm saying, forget ball into feet. Occasionally get the ball into feet, but I came from like a Højlund. But I'm saying turn them around. I say it all the time. One thing no defender wants at any level is to be running towards his own goal. No defender wants that. Even defenders who are quick and able to deal with it, they don't want to be doing that. Let's take Alphonso Davies, electric. He don't want to be running towards his own goal. I'll take whoever you think the best centre-back is in Europe. He does not want to be running towards his own goal. So yeah, like in terms of that, from the midfield, I'm saying you lot build up. I'm looking at Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno, but be decisive with your passing. And when I say that, I'm talking about the space to hit. Like there's space to hit. And I trust Eriksen on the ball, Casemiro to an extent. We know about Bruno, but I'm saying back to front, quick. That's what it is. As soon as I'm saying 2-3 passes max, there should be a pass forward into the final third when we're not on the ball. Obviously, build up, not every time. Sometimes keep the ball for 5-6 passes, etc. Depending on the game, if you're under the cosh. Defenders just do what you can to defend well. That's what I would say. What are you saying about this?
Oh, do you know that's what scares me? You mentioned the word follow instructions, and you look at these players at Manchester United. Oh, they're capable of following instructions, especially in the big games away from Old Trafford. I can just see it, man. When you're supposed to feed the man in the feet, like for example, Rashford on the wing, so much space. Rasmus Højlund running into goals to be squared into. What will Rashford do? Hit and hope, not find his man. The easy goal was there and available, and I can just see it, flawless. Bruno Fernandes shoots and hits the opposition's defense. I can see that, man. When you're supposed to make that easy pass, when Højlund is right there, free, through ball, slip it in, 1-0. He will do the complete opposite. He'll take a wild shot. I can just see. These players just lack their deficiencies. They have deficiencies of following instructions. They're not capable of following instructions. And I just see it. The first goal goes in. They're all gonna cave in, drop the principles of the football that we're meant to be playing, and that's it, man. So I just hope they can. Like tomorrow's the day that where everything's supposed to be. You're supposed to do everything right, and you're supposed to do everything up to a T. You know, no messing around, no freestyle football, no skills. No tricks and no tricks and flicks. You know, that's one thing I hate, flawless. Why are you doing tricks and flicks for your passes when we're 1-0 down and 2-0 down? Yeah, we're not even winning 3-0 for you to be going way or lays and all that kind of stuff. But they sometimes do that and they make the wrong pass and or give the ball away to the opposition. And I just feel like they will do that tomorrow. And it's going to be a frustrating watch along. There's going to be a lot of screaming and R-ing and siren and all that stuff. I just can't see them following instructions. I just can't see them doing what they're supposed to do. Pass the ball into space when a man is on. They're not going to do that. Just won't. When you have players like Bruno Fernandes, I keep saying this before, Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford, unable to follow instructions, unable to play that football that you need and just do things right, they don't. When you need them, they don't show up, especially Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen, I can trust him. But for how long can Eriksen play against Bayern Munich? How long can he carry out the instructions for? Casemiro, will Bruno Fernandes drop deep to support Eriksen and Casemiro in midfield? Because this is when you need to be tactically disciplined in a game like this, Or is Rashford going to track back, make the right passes to his striker, find his striker, Or Man United midfield are going to find a striker, flawless? Because for some reason, we play like we don't have a striker when we do have a striker. Zero shots on goal.
I ain't gonna lie. I think it's new to them. You know what I'm saying? I think it's new to them to have a striker.
Flawless. We've had a striker before. We've had Martial, we've had Weghorst. They never found him. We've had Ronaldo. They never found him. They didn't bother crossing. Yeah. I know you don't count them. Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? You hear me? You see me? When we play a striker up front, they don't do the crosses. When the striker comes off, it's all of a sudden it starts sending crosses in and all that kind of stuff. You've seen that in the past with Manchester United. It's like, bro, who are you crossing to? Weghorst is not playing. He came off the bench. He came off. And now you're crossing. The time when you was meant to cross was when Weghorst was playing, but you don't do stuff like that. So yeah, man, like we play with a striker, but we don't, because we never look for a striker. We never feed him in. We never pass the ball to his feet onto through balls. We haven't done that. And yes, it's new. Yeah. Højlund's the first striker that I can say he's an actual striker compared to what we've had in the past with the qualities that we need. But yet, you're not used to it. You're not finding him. You just do what you want to do. Tomorrow, I expect the team to play like a team. But everyone's going to be a man for themselves because it's Manchester United, isn't it? Like, that's how I see it, man. Yeah, RJ, ball Rashford. I'm not just repeating RJ stuff. That's exactly what I was doing on Saturday. Rashford, pass the ball.
He did put in one good cross to Højlund on his left foot that Højlund missed, but we need more of that. You know what I'm saying? We do need more of that, without that. But hey, Daniel, big up for the super chat. Much appreciated, my guy. Thank you. To Boxing Sage, you says, I think he's going to play the diamond with Hannibal instead of Scott. If he does that, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm not going to lie. If he does that, I'm going to lose my shit. If I see the diamond, I'm looking at my life. You better get a result. You know what I'm saying? If he plays the diamond and we lose, I'm crashing on the manager in regards to you're taking the vast majority. I don't care how poor the players play, you're taking the vast majority on the blame. I'll always proportion our blame fairly in regards to poor results. Vast 80% automatically is going on the manager if we play the diamond and lose that game. I'm just not having it. Hey, Stephanie G, man, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I know I'm clutching at straws because she says, Bruno, not wasteful. Come on, please. Hey, man, I'm clutching at straws, man. Allow me to douse him, man. I'm reaching. I'm doing the douse him. Word to everyone who's played Street Fighter. Fast direct football. That's what it's got to be. Fast direct football.
That's the thing. We want them to emphasize on the word direct because these men don't know how to be direct. Especially when they play direct football. They just don't know how to be direct. They just make the simple mistakes.
It's so set up with our personnel, the game, how Bayern Munich play to play direct. Like that's the only way we're getting a result and scoring at least a goal. How do you think, Daniel says, how do you think you'll handle the Coleman and Kane link up? And he mentioned Sane as well. I don't worry too much about it because I've seen us be defensively resilient this season already. Like when we played Arsenal, for instance, they are the best team we've played so far this season, in my opinion. Like they're just the best team overall, and we didn't concede a lot of shots. We didn't. What did they create? They had the Saka shot, and I'm saying outside of the goal they scored and outside of the 2 late goals. I'm talking about in the period. So forget the stoppage time 2 late goals. You had the Saka chance, the one Havertz miskicked. That's it. We minimized them creating chances, and that's they had Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Nketiah, I believe, started. That's the front four. Yeah. Like, Nketiah's not the best, but Saka, we all know about Saka in terms of quality. Same with the Martinelli, same with the Odegaard. And just the way Arsenal play as well. Just the way they play. You had Declan Rice in the mix. You got Zinchenko, who was out there as well. So, yeah, how do we handle it? I think we'll do all right. I don't think we lose this game on our defense. I think there's 3 things I'm looking at. 1, the manager and how he sets us up. Now, if the manager sets us up correctly, it's on the midfield and the attack. It's on the midfield and the attack because there's space there. But the manager has to set us up correctly with the correct personnel. And it's not tough because we barely got an 11 to choose from. We barely have an 11. What are we doing? Barely have an 11, man. Come on. Let's see, but we will find out. Hey, continue to get your questions in. Make sure you subscribe to Ivorian's channel as well. The link is in the title, people. Red United TV. The link is in the title. Red United TV. Daniel says, you just want to give a player like Sane as little room to work with as you can, right? And if you're getting your team behind the ball, you can handle that. Kane a different challenge, though. 110%. We kind of did it. You know what I'm saying? We kind of did that against, like I said, Arsenal are the prime example of that. Like, we gave them Saka and Martinelli, Odegaard, very little space to operate in. They're good players and a good side, so Arsenal are going to create something. I'm saying the point I'm making is we limited, and that was away from home. That should be the approach. That should be indeed be the approach. But hey, we move. Who wasn't on the bench versus Leverkusen? Let us know, Jez. Who wasn't on the bench versus Leverkusen? Tuchel saying here on the personnel, Kimmich trained well today. Coleman will be in the squad tomorrow. Still too early for Guerrero. Hey, let's hope Kimmich don't play.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not trying to see Kimmich in that midfield.
Because I can just see them dominating midfield.
Long day.
Everyone dominates the midfield battle against Manchester United, but I can see them really dominating the midfield battle if Joshua Kimmich was to play. It's going to be a tough game, man, for Manchester United. It's going to be a long one, another long one. Long night. Long day, long night.
Long day if Kimmich is in midfield. Oh, my God. Long day. It is. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Kaneki says, okay, Flawless, hear me out. I think we should approach this. Go there with the white flags wearing shirts that we at Spurs, Arsenal, Barcelona, have mercy, please. I think the thing is, I don't think, even though we could lose the game, I don't think we get packed. I don't think we go there and lose 4-5-6-0. I don't think so.
You think Bayern Munich will be like, yo, it's Man United. We have an extremely good relationship with Manchester United. Let's take it easy on them.
No, I've seen us be again. This is probably me, Manchester United bias, United fan, so it is what it is. I just mentioned the Arsenal game. If we approach it and play like we did in the Arsenal game, we're not getting packed. I don't think we'll don't get me wrong, we could lose this game 2-3-0. But I'm saying I don't think it becomes embarrassing. I don't think it's 4-5-6-7-8-9-0. I don't think it's that.
Yeah. But history tells us Manchester United, when it comes to these games, they don't really get embarrassed like that, especially the big teams. And they do turn up in Europe in the big teams, but the results never not always the time goes our way. So I can agree with you. We might end up just losing the game respectfully and not getting packed. But I really hope that's the case, because at the same time, if we concede the first goal within the first 10 minutes, flawless, these players are caving in, and it's going to be a long night. If Manchester United can go the first 45 minutes and it's 0-0, and we're producing chances, then we might, the second half, we could potentially just lose 1-0 or 2-0. Then I can see that happening. Or maybe with us sneakily winning something. But I don't think that's going to happen anyway, man. I just think it's all against us, man. It's all against us. Remember what I said before, guys? I'm looking at game 2 to 5, and that's it. 1 and 6, I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking at that. Yeah.
Well, get into to Eric, who says, I still think we don't show Bayern respect and go for it. Nah, you show them respect, you just don't show them too much respect. That's what it is. And to Kaneki, don't do that. He said, you said that for Brighton, and how did that end up? You never pick us to win, fam, so don't do that. You never pick us to win, and we've won 2 games this season. Don't do that. Don't do that. Daniel says, great point, flawless. That got to be the approach, and players got to perform with a high concentration and effort. Arsenal, that's what it is. Like, as much as I'm looking at the result, I'm also looking at the performance because of how bad the performance was against Brighton in terms of the second half. And like I said, that's a performance that gets the manager the sack, because it seems the players are not interested. They're not with it. They're not buying into what the manager's doing. That's why, as much as I'm looking at the result, I'm also looking at the performance as well. Yeah, you laugh, Kaneki. You know this. You joke, man.
But you know what, flawless? If they're not buying into what the manager is, that means I see my players as pussies, bro. They're not willing to work hard. They're not willing to do the pressing and all that kind of stuff. They just want an easy life, and just be what's it called, comfortable. You don't like being challenged by a manager and say, can you do this? Can you run the hard yards? Can you hold the ball? Because it's outside your comfort zone. That just tells me a lot about these players, man. How many years are we going to see these players not feeling the manager's way of football? Like you're a winner, like you've been winning Champions League season in and winning Premier League season in and out. None of those players can say anything or complain about the manager's not the right person, because they're not winners. I'm sorry, they're not winners. And if they continue to do that, to me, I just see them as a bunch of losers who just want to be comfortable. You're at Manchester United, where you're not supposed to be comfortable. You're supposed to be working and putting in 110 to 20%. Every training session, you're supposed to leave with bucket loads of sweat. That's how I remember it's supposed to be. A training session is like a real game, bro. Yeah, no, it's true. The intensity was always there, but these men are not ready.
That's for that makes me laugh.
That's how hard you're supposed to be working in training. A bucket load of sweat, like you're a boxer. You know how the boxers train, and you just take up the top. It's just full of water, bro. Exactly. That's what I expect from Manchester United players. But if that's the case where they're starting to down tools, it's because they're not ready for this. They don't deserve to be here. They need to get
down in tools. You should never do. You should never down tools. That's just professional pride. As much, even if you don't mess with,
but it's sometimes
go on.
Florida, sometimes it seems like that. You see that game against Brighton when we conceded the first goal, the way they folded and they just dropped everything and started doing the thing. It just tells me these men, they're not ready to play the real football. They're not ready to play football. Yeah,
we're in the game. That's the thing is, and we just folded. They had one shot, like Brighton had one, and we'll get your thoughts on Brighton in a second. But they had one shot on target in the first half, and then they scored sucker punch. All right, you're 1-0 down. You're still in the game at that point. And you go out in the second half and just fold. That's what we did. We just folded, and it was sad to see. You know what I'm saying? It really was sad to see. And to just want to get to this before we get Ivorian's full thoughts on the defeat to Brighton. Probably why United need to get rid of players who's been there 4+ years now, gotten complacent. And that's true, Jez. And that's why I'm looking at the manager, because you have ample opportunity to get rid of these men. That's where my big issue lies. You've given out new contracts to certain players. You've continued to play certain players. Like, what are we talking about here? You've done this. Like, when you look at the lineup against Brighton, Onana's your signing, Dalot you gave a new contract to, Reguilon's your signing, Lindelof you're happy with, Martinez is your signing, Casemiro is your signing, Eriksen is your signing, Bruno is who you gave the captaincy to, McTominay you could have tried to push out the door, you didn't. Rashford's your guy, Højlund's your signing. This is now your team. You had ample opportunity. See how many times I said in there, your signing or you gave a new contract to. Like, or you've had a right. You could easily, because I agree with you. These players are not good enough. And even if we were to sack Ten Hag today and bring in a new manager, I still stand on what I've said about these players. But the manager still needs to do better with what he has. You know what I'm saying? He still needs to be doing better. Like that's what it is. But yeah, your thoughts on the game I just spoken about there in parts. Manchester United won, Brighton 3. Talk to us.
It's probably like the fourth time I'm actually speaking about this, but it is what it is. That's what you want to hear, guys. But let me take a deep breath, a sigh, because it's a long one. So my thoughts on that game, Flawless, and you guys that's watching. Let's be real. Let's start off with the start of the first half, where Manchester United started off well for 17 minutes, because that's what they can only give us, a good 17 minutes or 20 minutes. That's what we saw against Arsenal. That's what we saw against Norwich. The best that you see in terms of performance, and then all of a sudden capitulate. We started off well against Brighton. We was dominating as well, creating a couple of opportunities. But as always, Manchester United cannot finish their dinner. And that's been the problem for a very long time at Manchester United. And then the moment, Flawless, we conceded that first goal, which again, he was right. It was a sucker punch, sucker punch. And then we did equalize. But again, it was never given. But it's about what we was doing after we conceded the first goal. And what I saw from that football team wasn't good enough, As soon as we conceded that goal against Brighton, we weren't creating as much chances. We weren't dominating the ball. We was just watching Brighton on the ball majority of the rest of the first half. Second half, when it was half time, after we've equalized and VAR got into the situation and said no goal. In my opinion, I don't know. Like, I've seen the Japan clip, and it kind of has similarities, but
it had similarities, but it was out.
Yeah.
And don't worry, Daniel. I'm gonna get to your super chat as well, my guy Daniel. Don't worry, I'm gonna get there. Go on, carry on, Ivorian. Carry on.
And then the second half, you're thinking Ten Hag will have a go at these players and get them, sort them out for the second half, because you've got a lot of things to do in the second half. It got worse from there, Flawless. Conceding that second goal, same manner in the way that we conceded the first goal, on the left-hand side being cut wide open. I think that came from Dalot's side again, and a goal from what's it called?
The first goal was the right side.
The right side, and then the second goal
was the left side.
Left side.
The goals
Similar
are
goal.
very similar. The goals are very similar. You're right.
What was it? Goal from what's his name? Gross.
Yep.
Making it 2-0. Well, I just thought it was an easy goal for Brighton, And Manchester United themselves, from there, we all knew it's curtains for us, and we could see the third goal coming because Manchester United were never in the game. And you know what? One thing I liked, the first 70 minutes, back to the first half, it was the diamond did work to an extent until De Zerbi noticed.
15-20 minutes.
It was good.
I have no complaints with apart from not creating more. That's the only.
Or not taking the opportunities. But De Zerbi figured it out. The moment he found Ten Hag out, it's the response. My problem was Ten Hag's response. If you've noticed that, oh my God, that man has found me out, I need to counter to attack him. Why didn't you do that? That's the problem that I had. He's supposed to be a tactician, There's been so many cases where he's been outfought and outsmarted, and sometimes by the average Joe, in coaches. We lost the midfield battle again in the second half and in the first half. From there, when De Zerbi figured him out and made his changes to counter us, Brighton was all over and in control. And then once we conceded the third goal, it was just the icing on the cake. And João Pedro, we were just horrible. The goal we conceded as well, we was horrible. We didn't fight for it at all. The consolation goal, I don't give a shit. The only thing that pissed me off is why you celebrating. I know it's your first goal. Pick up the fucking ball. But listen, Manchester United Academy, he got super excited. It reminded me of that Dan James when he scored and Rashford said, "What the fuck you doing, bro? Pick up the fucking ball and go back." Yeah, he's just saying.
He cheered and then moved on. To be honest,
he cheered, but he wanted to have his moment. Yeah, but it wasn't.
I'm having my moment.
It wasn't that time. I was already fuming as a fan. I'm like, yo, I don't want to see this. Just pick up the fucking ball and go straight to the center and carry on and do your thing. But Manchester United was never going to come back. We lost the game tactically, players' ambition, players' decision-making. We lost the game there. We also lost the game in motivation as well because we was never up for it. And again, the substitutions, one thing I have to say, I was really disappointed in the substitution. There is no way you can tell me that Højlund wasn't ready to play 90 minutes when he was on international duty doing the most for his international team. Yeah, that means to me, that's to me, he's ready to play 90 minutes because he's already had the Arsenal game, some minutes there, 2 games for Norway. Sorry, is it Norway or Denmark? He's Danish, right?
He's Danish.
Yeah. 2 games for Denmark. To me, that's 3 games. 3 games. You have enough minute in your leg to play a full 90 minutes. And the substitution, which I questioned, Flawless, because Rashford. I'm sorry. I keep saying this before. I think this is like the 100th time I'll say that I don't think Manchester United can ever win anything, major trophies, when you have someone like Rashford and Bruno on your side and Martial. Yeah, the reason why is the decision makings. The build-up plays, and Rashford on so many occasions pass the ball. Højlund is free. Højlund at times, I think Højlund never had a shot. But Rashford had the most shots, about 12 shots, nothing in return. Pass the ball to your companion, My problem with Rashford is the build-up play, being involved, seeing the passes, and he doesn't see it sometimes. He just does whatever he does. And it really annoys me. And then the manager as well, it's on you to correct that situation. If I see my players doing nonsense, I will be having a sit down with them, play the video and tell them what they should be doing all the time. Even if I have to do it on numerous occasions, until if they still don't get it, I drop them, I bench them, because I want players who are able to make those passes and see those passes. Because why? We're supposed to be an elite team, elite football club who plays football at the highest standard. So that means mistakes are minimum. But we constantly make mistakes with players like Bruno Fernandes and Rashford, and that shouldn't go. That shouldn't continue. I've had enough of that. I've been moaning about Rashford making the wrong decisions since he first came into the game. And he's 25, 26. And my brother, you still don't get it? You still haven't figured it out? At this age in football, that means you will never figure it out and you'll never get it. You'll never correct those mistakes. He's been the same player that we've seen for the last 6-7 years. Yeah, last season was an exceptional season, but look at this now. 350k, and you're not even scoring anymore. You're not really contributing to the play. And I just don't know how my man gets into the team. And that was my little rant about Rashford. And then you got Bruno Fernandes. I don't even want to get on. Like, I'm already tired of Bruno at times, man. He's our captain as well, but he does deserve this harsh criticism. His decision-making on that day never turned up. Majority of our key players, our spine, never turned up. Yeah, it's easy to say I can blame the manager because he made stupid substitutions, but these are the same players who didn't turn up, bro. Our spine didn't turn up in this game where you're supposed to show yourself. Yeah, as much as I can say Ten Hag is also to blame, the players are also partially to blame because their performance was lackluster. Yeah, Ten Hag set them up in a way to kind of do something in the first 17 minutes, and they never took advantage of the situation. But yeah, man, Haaland, the substitution was wrong. Even bringing on Hannibal as well. I thought, give Palestri an opportunity. The substitution was questionable.
The subs made no sense.
It made no sense. It didn't help. And then the things got worse, man. To see Bruno playing centre back, that tells me the manager doesn't trust Maguire or Evans. He doesn't trust the players that he has. For him to play Bruno as a centre back and take that risk, I was like, wow, man. Really, you're gonna do this to us? It could be 4-1. You've got a midfielder who does anything with the ball, yeah, playing centre back to defend us. It was one tough game to watch, one tough game to commentate and do a watch along on. Even though I think I did, Flawless. Did I say last week it won't be a positive result for us? When you asked me for my prediction, I was like, guys, I don't know. It's gonna be a long one. Yeah. It's going to be a long one. Mm-hmm. And this is another game where we've struggled against Brighton. We've lost to Brighton again, home and away last season. Didn't even beat them in the FA Cup. We knocked them out on penalties.
No, we beat them in the FA Cup. Don't do that.
No, fam. It was 0-0.
Fam, we beat them in the FA Cup. Don't do that. So
all right, on paper. On paper.
All right, so in 2008, we didn't win the champs, right? We didn't win the Champions League in 2008, yeah? Is that what you're saying?
No. In 2008, exactly. we drew the match.
We didn't win it according to that. We didn't win it in 08.
But outright, we won.
If he was to do a betting,
You're saying Manchester United win outright, you know?
Yeah,
Not
we won the cup game. We knocked them out.
outright.
People forget that. You know what I'm saying?
But
As
those
great
90
as
minutes,
they are, who went
Mhm.
through to the final? Yeah, we got packed, but who
We
went
did,
through
we
to the
did.
final? Yeah,
We did.
exactly. Yeah. Let's not do
But
that.
we still,
Let's not
we
give these
didn't
men
really.
more credit, because if they beat us in that semi-final, guess what the conversation would be? Oh, they beat us 5 times in a row. Don't do that.
Man, there seemed to be
That's
a
what the
whole.
conversation would be. That's
Oh, yeah.
exactly what the conversation would be. They beat us 5 times in a row. People forget that. Yeah, we beat them in the semi-final.
But hey, we lost to Brighton. We go again, you know. So funny. Game week 5. I swear we was in the exact same position as we was last year. So, you know, I'm sure the manager can make changes because somehow I think Ten Hag is trying to play the way he wants to play, just like last season, the first 2 games. I don't know what that is as well. But I just think the first 2 games when he went ambitious last season and tried to play it out from the back and it went wrong and then he made changes. I feel like he has to do the same thing again because yes, it's been looking suspect. We can't play the way he wants us to play. With certain players, it just won't work, man. But that game against Brighton, Flawless, was just horrible, horrible. That's my thoughts on it, man. That was a long one.
No, it's calm, man. It's calm. And big up Daniel for this super chat. It says, sorry to swerve topic for a second. It's all good, man. Says, but do you guys think Newcastle will be out of their depth tonight at the San Siro on the biggest stage, being Champions League football? No, I don't. I think they get out of the group, and I picked them to win today. I think they'll beat AC Milan today in the San Siro. I don't think AC Milan are a great side like that. I think they have the best player on the pitch than Rafael Leao. I'm a huge fan of Rafael Leao. But do I think AC Milan are a good side? No. And I've picked Newcastle to win. I think it's a 2-1, so I'm going to stick with that. I think Newcastle are set up very similar to when I spoke about Manchester United going away to Bayern Munich and how they should approach it. Newcastle got pace to burn on the break. You look at their players with Isak, with Almiron, you got Gordon, you got Barnes, you got Callum Wilson, and then in their midfield you have a Tonali, you have a Bruno G who can find them players. And from a defensive standpoint, they're good. Also dangerous from set pieces with Kieran Trippier out there as well. So yeah, with that, I look at it and go, I think they'll do the business, to be honest. So I don't think they'll be out of their depth. And I can fully see them getting out of the group. I'd be surprised if they don't. What are you saying to this about Newcastle, fam?
Do you know what? Yeah, I don't think they're out their depth tonight, but it's going to be a tough game because the reason why I say it's a tough game, because it's AC Milan. The situation that Newcastle is in. When was the last time Newcastle been playing in Europe? So it's all new to them. You know, the expectations as well weighs heavy as well for them to do well. But for me, they're there to just have a good time in the Champions League because it's the first time they've ever been. And again.
They've been in the champs before.
But one thing I say is it's the Champions League and players are always motivated to play in this. They have been under Sir Bobby Charlton. Robinson. That was a long time ago, you know. That was really a long time ago, Flawless. Yeah. I can't remember if they were in the Europa League in the last 10 years. But yes, back to the Champions. It is the Champions League, and the Champions League does bring spirits out, yeah, and does bring something out to you, especially when you play Champions League. So you just never know, you know. I want to say they're completely out of their depth, but it's a tough game against the AC Milan because this is tough. This is the norm to AC Milan. They're used to Champions League nights. They're used to the anthem being played. Will Newcastle be ready for that long walk outside San Siro? Will they be ready for that anthem that comes out with the flags waving? Will they be ready for the decoration of the fans? How aggressive the AC Milan ultras are? Will they be ready for that? I don't know. And the manager as well, would he be tactically good enough to go against the best of the best? Because these are new players that you've never played against a Rafael Leao, you know? You've never played against anyone outside of your country. So it's going to be an interesting test for Newcastle. But again, can they rise to the occasion? We'll find out. We'll see, innit? Like, you know, I don't think Newcastle's a bad side. You know, they did well. If it's the Newcastle that was playing last season, you just never know. They might give AC Milan a test. But in terms of quality-wise with the players, it goes down to AC Milan. They've got the better players. They've got the experience. They went to the semi-finals. So the more like the pressure's on them. With Newcastle, you just have to go out there, turn up, and just enjoy the ride, you know? That's for them. They don't have any pressure. So they can go there and maybe get 3 points because the pressure's not on them. You know? True. They know the deficiency. They know their limits. You know, when Newcastle United, we're just here to have a good time. You know, to see what it feels like. And then maybe next season, if we qualify again, we'll take it serious. So we go ham on it. But for now, let's just enjoy it.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Daniel, no issue asking about that because I will be doing a watch along over on the Sarcasm City TV kick for that game, people. So make sure you get over to the kick in. I'll probably go live 10 minutes before kickoff, people. So that's why I started this show earlier than usual. But yeah, this is the AC Milan team. Mignon in goal, Calabria, Tomori. I can't even pronounce my man's name there.
What the
Hernandez,
fuck?
Krunic. I don't even know these players. Pabega, Loftus-Cheek, of course, Liao, Giroud, and Chukwueze. Is
You know
it
what?
Chukwueze?
Yeah, Chikwueze. Big up Loftus-Cheek as well,
Yeah.
man. The guy was getting 0 minutes, and he goes to Italy and he's getting minutes,
Yeah,
bro.
man, he got out of that shithole that is Chelsea Football Club. Newcastle, Pope in goal, Trippier, Shah, Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno G, Longstaff, Tonali, Murphy, Gordon, and Isak.
It's not a strongest team to be playing in the Champions League. You know, you don't see star quality apart from Tunali and
I think that's
Guimaraes.
actually I can't say it's
Isak.
better than AC's because I don't know it. I don't know AC Milan's players like that. But
Well, you know what they're
it's got
capable
quality in
of.
there. In Bruno G, Tonali, Isak, Trippier. You got I rate Botman, I rate Shah. Yeah, I rate Botman, I rate Shah. Joshua Kimmich, yeah, is a doubt for Bayern Munich's game tomorrow with an inflamed tendon. Neuer, Coleman, and Guerrero will miss the game. Hey, let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. Kimmich misses the game. I'm not really trying to see. Jez, I'm always butchering. What's it called? Butchering names because I don't even know some of them AC Milan players. I'm not gonna lie. Well, yeah, in regards to the Manchester United, hopefully Kimmich is. I'm not trying to see Kimmich. Long day, long day. Warrior J says, question, Ivorian prediction for Bayern Munich versus Manchester United. Let's get to it now.
Just not lose more than 2 goals.
No, that's not a prediction.
That's a prediction, bruv. That's my prediction.
Score prediction.
Score prediction. Yeah, I know. I heard everything. Men understand. Men's got a degree, bro. You get me?
I said I've got a degree. You joking.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Prediction. You know what? Yeah, Manchester United to lose 2-0.
You guys losing 2-0. Right. I'm going to say. I think we get a result, man. Certain times we will get a result. I'm saying it's more in hope than expectation. But I'm gonna say 1-1.
Do you know what? If we get 1-1, I will be happy as Larry.
Over the moon. That's like
over
a win.
the moon. You know, I'll stick my chest out and all that stuff. Like
it's over the moon if we get a result over the goddamn. Are you crazy, fam? Over the moon if we get a draw there. We get a draw there over the goddamn moon. Are you crazy? Yes. Let's see what else is anyone else is saying. Eric Tenderhooks, that's a fine name. Says to be fair, Rashford put it on the plate for Højlund and Højlund just fell down. That's unfair. He was stretching for it. Like I'm not gonna criticize Højlund for that. And after that as well, if I was a striker, 30 goals compared to 9, I would go for goal 2. That's not the way to do it. You don't do that. If a opposition, I mean, if a teammate is in a better position to score a goal, you play him the ball. That's just plain ignorance. To say, well, I scored 30 goals and you got 9, so no. And that's nonsense anyway because we've seen Rashford try and pass to Højlund before. Should he have made better decisions? Yes. Is some of the criticism of Rashford, I mean, overall, do I think it's over the top? Yes. But does he deserve a lot of criticism for that Brighton game? Yeah, that's why I've not defended him. All the criticism he receives for that Brighton game, he deserves. Because if he plays better, we win that game. So, yeah, that's what I can't say to that. Like, oh, because I scored more than you, I'm not passing you the ball. That's just not productive for the team. And I don't think that's in Rashford's mind either. I don't think Rashford thinks like that. I see people say, oh, he wants to be the main man and ego and da-da-da. I don't think Rashford went, right, because you scored 9 goals, I'm not passing you the ball. But if he had scored 25 goals, yeah, I'm passing. No. I don't think players are thinking that in the moment. Nah. Like, what are we doing here? Not in the slightest, but that's just me. Anything else though you want to add before we do indeed close out? Ivorian.
No, nothing much, you know. I just hope that we respectively get a positive result tomorrow, you know, or respectively not lose like that, embarrass ourselves. But I'm just like Flores. I hope we can get a draw, you know. I hope we can get a win, you know. It's all about hope at the moment, you know. That's because that's what we have as Manchester United is hope. You know, there's no certainty, you know, it's the uncertainty with us, you know. So I hope we can get that result and not lose badly and just, you know, get a positive result. Just hope. Hope is, that's what it is. Hope, you know.
Hope.
Just hope.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's why I said it's more in hope than expectation that we go out there and get a result. It really is. But there will be a watch along here on the channel, people, tomorrow for obviously that Bayern Munich versus Manchester United game. It's already on the upcoming live stream schedule anyway. I've already updated it. But we got plenty more shows coming up today, people. Plenty more shows. Obviously, like I said, we're live in about 10 minutes over on the Sarcasm City TV kick for the AC Milan Newcastle game, people. So you just download the Kick app for free, sign up for free. The same way you watch and comment on YouTube, it's the exact same on Kick. You can be in the comment section same way, be responding to comments, etc. So please download the Kick app and follow Sarcasm City TV over there. Trying to build up the Kick, because you're going to get Champions League watch-alongs all season, Premier League watch-alongs, FA Cup, League Cup, the boxing show, NBA's over there, NFL shows over there, fan calling shows, members Q&As as well, all over on the Sarcasm City TV kick. Daniel says, thanks for another good show. Big up, guys. Glad you enjoyed it. Hope to see you, Daniel, and everyone else over on the kick as well for not only the AC Milan Newcastle game, double header, people. PSG versus Dortmund as well. So we're going back to back over on the Sarcasm City TV kick, and then we're back at midnight, people. We're back at midnight right here for the Manchester United Liverpool show, which should be great fun for me as a Manchester United fan with all them happy Liverpool fans. But we move. Ivorian, anything you want to add before we do indeed? Actually, go and get your prediction as well before we go, because we'll play twice before we talk next.
Yes.
Away at Burnley on Saturday. Predictions quick.
This should be 3 points. 1-0 to Manchester United, which is going to be a long one for us because we're not at our best right now and the squad's not looking strong. So I hope Manchester United can win 1-0. An easy 3 points for us. I say it's easy, but it's going to be a difficult one. And that's it. And why does Kick look like Twitch?
Because it's very similar to Twitch. It's the same makers.
Wow.
It's the same. It's the same creators. Yeah, because when I see that, I was like, yeah, it looks exactly like Twitch. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. But yeah, big up, man. It's all good, man. Man said I'm off to the Doncaster game versus Everton Academy in the EFL Trophy. Hey, love to see it, Daniel, man. It's all good, man. Enjoy, man. True Doncaster Rovers fan. I like that. So what are you saying? 1-0 against we win 1-0 away at Burnley, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. And it's a tough night there. It's the new Stoke, innit? So, but we can still get something. We should get a result. Because Burnley ain't that great.
All right. Famous last. I actually do agree with you that we get a win, but I'll say, I say 2-1. I say 2-1. I think So there we have it, people. Ivorian was losing to Bayern, beating Burnley. I was drawing against Bayern and beating Burnley. More, like I said, in hope than expectation and logical reasoning in regards to that. But Ivorian, let them know where they can find you, what you got coming up, all that good stuff. And before you do that, Red United TV, people, the link's in the title. So you click the link right now, opens up a new tab, subscribe to Ivorian's YouTube channel, and you can find all his other socials as well. But yeah, go on, fam.
Yes, guys, make sure you subscribe as always as well, both channels. But yes, I've got latest Manchester United news on Friday 5 p.m. I go live. I mean on Thursday 5 p.m. I go live as well. And of course we've got the watch long against Burnley and the watch long tomorrow as well. So try and tune into both.
Yeah, and just turn this phone, put one on mute and tune into both people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and of course with the match reaction as well. And I've got yesterday as well. For those if you need something to watch as well later on, watch yesterday's podcast.
There you go, people.
Yeah.
So make sure you do that. Support Ivorian, and don't forget to continue to support here. We are available on all audio platforms as well. So like Daniel, for instance, who's going to the Doncaster game versus Everton Academy, if he wanted to listen back to one of the shows and didn't want to have YouTube sucking all his data while he's on the move, then you could listen on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find this show, all the other shows on the YouTube channel, apart from watch-alongs, all on there in audio only platforms. So like if you're traveling, if you're cooking, cleaning, might be at work, you know what I'm saying, maybe at the gym, whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be, people. So yeah, SoundCloud, please hit us with a follow. Spotify, make sure you follow us and 5-star us, and same on iTunes, Apple Podcasts as well. All you iPhone users, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you do that, people. Sarcasm City TV across all audio platforms. But love to everyone that's locked in. We're going live on the kick in, like I said, 5 to 10 minutes for the AC Milan Newcastle United Champions League watch along. Then we'll follow that with PSG Dortmund also on the kick. Then back here at midnight for the Sarcasm for the Manchester United Liverpool show, ManDem United podcast, analysis at Anfield podcast. But love to everyone that's locked in. This has been the ManDem United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up for tuning in.